This twin season has been a nightmare. The next one is guaranteed to be a dream. It remains to be seen if Joe Ryan and Walker Jenkins will be there too, but the Twins are headed to the Field of Dreams in 2026. But that's a year away. For now, let's just get locked on Twins.
You are Locked On Twins, your daily Minnesota Twins podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to Locked On Twins, your daily go-to source for the top Minnesota Twins insight, discourse, and analysis. Personally, it's my favorite show of the Imperial Locked On Podcast Network, which, by the way, brings you your team every day. My finger says so. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe where applicable. I'm Dave Brown, an MLB writer who has never lived in the Twin Cities and isn't sure which one Walker Jenkins should choose to settle. I'm also a BBWA member and a Hall of Fame voter. Across the Great Plains of cyberspace is Brandon Warne, who lives somewhere near a Paul Bunyan statue. At least that's how I picture it in my mind. You can find Brandon's written work at Access Twins, the newsletter, and you can find mine at Pitcher List. On this podcast, the past two seasons have been a huge drag for Twins fans, and 2026 might be more of the same, honestly, but at least they'll have a 4-hour road trip to Dyersville, Iowa to stick in their pocket to make for the Field of Dreams game. It's going to be in August, maybe the 12th, and it's going to be against the Phillies. It's going to be the first Field of Dreams game since 2022. They should have probably retired it when Tim Anderson hit that home run to beat the Yankees. Tim Anderson probably should have retired after he hit the home run to beat the Yankees. Also, Joe Ryan, Brandon has it all figured out. What's wrong? We're kidding. Nobody knows. Walker Jenkins is one step closer to the majors after the Twins promoted him to AAA St. Paul. His first game was Tuesday night. It was against the Mud Hens. That's tonight while we're recording. And, well, we'll get to it. But first, today's episode is brought to you, the fans, by FanDuel. Football season is around the corner. It's very close. Visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your futures bets now. You got to do the future before the present. That's the key to FanDuel. So, Brandon, it's frankly, it's weird to see guys like Luis Varland and Ty France in enemy Canadian uniforms playing against the Twins. I don't really like it. So let's just look ahead to 2026. The new schedule's out. The Twins are already 4-9. I'm kidding. They open at Baltimore and KC before starting with the Rays at Target Field on April 3rd. But the real interesting series comes against the Phillies in August. Well, we got to wait a whole year for this. Possibly on August 13th. That's Dan Hayes' speculation. But they'll meet in Dyersville, Iowa around then for the Field of Dreams game. Do you have any interest in going to see this game? Or obviously, we'll watch it on TV, of course. But would you like to see the Field of Dreams with the Twins there too?
Are you offering, or are you just?
I don't have it to offer, but I'm just saying. I'm asking how you feel about it.
Well, so I have an aunt, my father's brother's wife. Not to sound like Ben Stein on Ferris Bueller's Day Off, but she's from Dyersville. So I don't know if I can maybe finagle something with going with her or what exactly. But I think between that, the natural connection of the Twins, I'm one of the people that actually enjoys that movie. And so for me, I think it's a perfect culmination of reasons to see if I can get down there and check it out. I don't know what the logistics would look like and all that, but I haven't been there before, which if you know a lot of things about me, I'm not a big, I haven't seen a lot of movies. I don't know a lot about that kind of stuff. And I also don't travel that much, kind of a homebody. So it would be kind of fun to get out there, check it out. Again, who knows what the prices will look like? Who knows what availability will look like? But would be kind of fun to go down there and check it out. I've seen Twins road games in Kansas City, Milwaukee, Chicago. I think that's it so far. So that'd be fun. One to knock off the non-traditional list for sure.
Have you done Wrigley Field? I don't know why.
I've done Wrigley. I have not done Rate Field. In fact, Wrigley, I covered the games in 2018. We were talking on the broadcast chat today because 2018 was such a miserable season. And a lot of these worst sense stats that we're pulling this is the worst thing that has happened to the Twins since 2018. Not 2016 when they lost 100 and whatever games. 2018 when they were 78-84 and completely miserable. So Yeah, I went to Wrigley when it was like 109 degrees heat index. Players were dropping like flies, and they had an outfield of, at one moment, it was like Williams Astudillo, Logan Morrison, and I honestly couldn't tell you who the third was, but it was maybe Robbie Grossman.
Those two guys were in the outfield at the same time?
Oh my gosh. I can't tell you how ridiculous. It was so bad. Lavelle, I may be abandoning his confidentiality agreement. He sat in the press lunchroom the whole game, and Mike Berardino, who I'm sure had a towel around his neck the whole game, and I think it was like salted, like salt water, and he was just. Meanwhile, Carrie Musket on the other side is looking cool as a cucumber. It was hysterical. It was like she was built for this. She was pretty unflappable, I must add.
She has some time in Minnesota, covering the Twins.
I know some stories about that. Yeah, I've heard some different stories.
So, Field of Dreams, is this going to be the highlight of 2026?
See, maybe Joan Duran will be there. I mean, he's under club control.
He is. I was thinking about Max Kepler. Max Kepler's probably not going to be there. He's probably not going to make the cut.
Imagine if he doesn't. He could get DFA'd before the end of this season if he's not careful.
Well, Phillies fans have been talking about it. They've been talking about it almost since he got there.
They don't love him. Yeah,
it hasn't been a great whatever. The Field of Dreams. The movie is okay. It's fine. I think I don't want to call it overrated because some people really like Field of Dreams, and I don't want to hurt their feelings. And if it's special to them, it is. Hey, one thing I want to know: do you have a catch or do you play catch?
I knew you were going to ask me that. I play catch, but
that's how it should be. You play.
Catch. I don't like. One thing I love about baseball is that there are like colloquialisms or like. I don't mean unwritten rules in the sense of gatekeeping, but just things that once you know the game, you know to do or not to do, like stepping on the foul line, that sort of thing. I do enjoy that part of the experience. So if have a catch was supposedly part of like the lore of the game from the days that it was invented, I guess I could get behind it. But yeah, I'm always playing catch. In fact, my college baseball coach told us we were practicing playing catch. Because you're not just playing catch, but you're practicing where your throws go. You want to get them right to the logo in the middle of the chest, which is not true of the shirt I'm wearing now.
Well, first you practice and then you play. So playing is usually in the game.
Yes.
Is that his point? I guess
it was basically if you practice perfection on your throws, it'll translate to the game eventually.
Do the Twins practice base running?
Many people are asking, and to me, the default argument of coaching, it just falls flat for me. These are JV level players.
The base runners.
They
fall flat a lot.
These are like, if you're Matt Wallner, you go or you don't go.
Right. Just go.
And the problem was
you big hip moose.
He didn't go, probably because he thought it was foul, but go until someone tells you it's foul. And then the runner behind him got, probably 2/3 the way there. And then it was all bunched up. And, if you give a moose a muffin, it's a dangerous proposition. That was.
Well, he laid a muffin on that trek to third base. That's for sure.
Yeah. So it was not, it was not a great base running game. They did pull out the win, but at the same time, like, they needed some help from Jeff Hoffman and old friend Louis Varland, who has not been great this month. In fact, as of yesterday, this is a fun fact. This is an actual fun fact. The Twins bullpen did get hit a little bit on Monday, so may not still be true, but the Twins had a lower bullpen ERA than the Dodgers, Blue Jays, Phillies, Rangers. You following where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
And then I can't remember who the fifth one is. Rays, Griffin Jacks. So of all the teams that they had traded relievers to, they had a lower ERA than every single one of those teams. Now, of course, I send that to the broadcast, and that's when the Twins gave up all those runs, and I'm like, oh, me and my big mouth. But then the Jays had a tough night, so I think the Twins are still there or thereabouts. But as of yesterday, which was still well into the month, 25 days into the month after the trade deadline, the Twins had a lower ERA than everyone they traded relievers to. That's a fun little fact, right?
I suppose. Yeah, I've seen this come up a couple times that the bullpen's actually somehow improved because, as we said before, one of the things we said was, yeah, they're going to trade all these guys off the roster, and then they're still going to like win games. That was a funny show.
They're aggressively mid.
They're basically playing the same. It's just they look a little bit worse than they did before, but they also it's the same team somehow.
Yep.
Even though they're different players. I don't know how many of these guys are going to be around for the Field of Dreams game. It's that's kind of a
none of us do. I mean, maybe you and I won't be around.
Well, let's not get too maudlin about it. Hey, what Twins player would you like to see come out of the cornfield?
Present or past?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I mean, Harmon Killebrew passed because you got kind of the old school vibe and legendary, like him. Weird as it sounds, Jim Thome, I think would be a cool. And again, he was a White Sox and a Guardian / what Cleveland used to be called for long before. But the type of player, Jim Thome reminded me of like a throwback to Harmon Killebrew. And I think that, those kinds of guys. But, the Twins fan in me from when I was 7, 8 years old, Kirby Puckett would obviously be pretty iconic too, and Joe Mauer. So, I mean, there's plenty of names, but any of those four for me. And I think people might say, Jim Thome, what the heck are you talking about? He killed the Twins. Again, I'm just talking about the aesthetic of like the kind of guys, the guys who played their butts off or, were big time, old timey power guys. That's who I'd go for.
Well, and since he's obviously got Phillies connections too, I bet we see Jim Thome come out of the cornfield for this game next August.
Maybe Jim Eisenreich. We could do some what is that called? Immaculate Grid posting here and talk about players coming out of the corn that are multiple, Nick Punto, Carlos Silva.
Yeah, we got to have Nick Punto at the game. Yeah. Some piranhas. Hey, those guys know how to run the bases. That's what they need to do in spring training.
Denard Span was in the broadcast booth. Send him down there and teach the guy something. He wasn't.
He was making noises about the bad base running in the game.
Yeah, and it was a little bit before his time, the Piranhas. He was about a year or two later, but I digress.
We are going to have I don't really have a fun pun to make about going to commercial. We're just going to do it and then come back.
Well, if you are watching this when it comes out, August 26th, you still have a chance to get in on FanDuel Futures Day. Brand new holiday for football fans who live for bold predictions and preseason hunches. Get your hot takes in and get them official. For just 24 hours, FanDuel is giving you deals on NFL season predictions. So whether you're calling your MVP, eyeing a long shot division winner, or ready to crown your Super Bowl champ before week 1 even kicks off, this is your moment. So take a flyer on the MVP race. Who's your pick for MVP, Mr. Dave Brown? I bet you're going to say Caleb Williams.
I'm not going to say that.
You know what? I know I said Justin Jefferson before. I feel like if Jared Goff takes the Lions to the next level, he's probably got a good chance. So I'll go with him. And if you're crowning your champion in August, again, Detroit Lions. I am a fervent Vikings fan, but you can't deny that the Lions are really, really good. We'll see how they do with losing some of their personnel. But hey, if you want to go put down some real cash on your MVP pick, your Super Bowl pick, or even just parlay some division winner dark horses, if you think maybe the Bears are going to sneak up, and I can't even say it with a straight face, but if you want to parlay some deep down division dark horses that you think can win you some big money, you just got a couple hours left. Better get over there and do it. Visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your futures bets now, because Futures Day is one day and one day only, and you only got a few more hours. FanDuel, play your game.
Locked on Twins has returned for Tuesday, August 26th. We are in our second segment talking about the Field of Dreams. The Twins are going to play there next year against the Phillies.
Have you been there?
I have, before it got all commercial, probably, when would that have been? Early 90s. So it was really fresh in those days.
Yeah, what 89 did it come out, or no? Is it earlier than that?
88.
I feel like the game they were watching, because it was the White Sox playing in the game on TV, right?
Yeah, you mean
the game they were watching on TV during the movie. There was a game on in the background.
Oh,
I want to say like
I don't remember.
Ron Kittle might have been at the plate, but I'm not sure.
These are the kinds of things I should know, but I don't remember.
This feels like some Yahoo Sports Big League Stew stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if there was much going on. I swear I've read that Frank Thomas is like trying to invest or is investing in the land around there to kind of make it a like a little league or haven sort of thing, which kind of defeats the purpose of having the baseball field out in the middle of the corn. But
yeah, it's not exactly supposed to be a real estate venture, but
no, but it's, I mean, they're obviously now they got they have like a big league kind of baseball stadium there. It's, I don't know. I think it's sort of been co-opted a little bit. Hey, it's fun enough. It's just, it's never going to be like it was or what the original intention was.
Okay, calm down, Jeff Fry.
I'm just saying.
No, you're right, though. You are right. I mean, to ignore differences is to deny the truth, and there are differences for sure.
So I don't know if Walker Jenkins, I was thinking about this. If Walker Jenkins had not hurt his ankle twice, would he be on the Twins right now?
That's a good point.
Because these last two, I think the answer is yes. I'm a little worried about this, Brandon. I'm not worried about it. I shouldn't say that. Here's what I think about Walker Jenkins. Walker Jenkins made his debut today with St. Paul. They were playing the Mud Hens. They were playing against Randy Dobnak, and Pablo Lopez was pitching in a rehab assignment for St. Paul. So is there enough going on in this game? I don't know. Jenkins, he went 0 for 4 with a strikeout. I believe that's right. Let me double check that.
Yeah, because Dobnak had 8 strikeouts. I mean, he
had a run scored too.
Yeah, I saw he got on maybe a fielder's choice or something, but
yeah. So what are his stats? Walker Jenkins' stats in his final, courtesy of Aaron Gleeman of the Athletic, 317, 435, 506 for Jenkins in the final 50 games at AA Wichita. So he's obviously mastering AA. Now, the thing about Jenkins that they said, this is before even he became a pro, was that his power would be a developing issue. So he didn't have like super duper power, but it's been good. Certainly doubles. They're going to turn into home runs. He's only 20 years old. Here's what I think about Walker Jenkins. He could play for the Twins right now and be pretty good. I think he would go out there and be, I mean, I don't know. I can't give a comp, but he wouldn't be the absolute best version of himself. But I don't
think James Outman right now,
to the point where you'd have to send him back to the minors or something like that. I think he would be okay. Now, you say that, and Mike Trout came up at 19 and had to go back to the minors. So maybe I'm wrong. But I still would maybe like to see him develop a little bit more. I feel some impatience on the part of the Twins. Now, I don't know if there's going to be huge complications or issues because of it, but I feel like there is a little bit of a rushing going on. We need to have some good news happen to the Twins. This is all in quotes. Let's get Walker Jenkins here as fast as possible.
I feel like, on a different trajectory, easy for me to say, if he's healthy, he's probably one of those guys that skips AAA possibly. Like, that's the caliber of prospect he is.
Yeah.
And I think they're following the playbook of, listen, it's too late in the season to have a guy skip AAA, and your season is sunk from a big league standpoint. You still got to do right by the player regardless. And so I wonder if it's like, listen, we're going to get him to AAA, get him his feet wet. He'll learn the Twin Cities. He'll do it in, a lesser environment, probably go back to St. Paul to start next season and be one of the first calls. And who knows? Maybe he'll make the team out of spring training, and they'll get the year of service time with the draft pick and all that fun stuff. I don't know, but I think this little stop off at St. Paul is deliberate from a standpoint of, okay, there's not enough time for us to do an actual prospect leap, the Joe Mauer jump, the Miguel Sano, Byron Buxton, Chuck Knobloch jump from Double-A. It just wouldn't make sense to do that jump right now. There's more drawbacks than there are positives. In this instance, I don't think it's so much to push him aggressively as it is just to kind of keep the line moving. Now, I recognize that could sound like a cop-out, and that's not what I'm trying to do. But I don't think they feel that they're rushing him. I feel like maybe he's the prospect that we had all hoped Alex Kirilloff was.
What? Well, where was what was Kirilloff's best prospect ranking?
Oh, probably somewhere around 30. I'll look it up because I'm interested. And I think what helps Jenkins clearly is that he has center field in his pocket. I mean, he's not going to push Byron Buxton off center anytime soon, but it's something that Kirilloff, never had at his disposal. He was first base as opposed to center field. Peak prospect rating, number 9 on MLB Pipeline. BA had him 15th. Prospectus had him as high as 39th. So high water mark Jonathan Mayo before 2019. He was prospect number 9. So probably higher than you or I realized.
Right. A couple things that I love about
Jenkins.
Jenkins' numbers. 752 minor league at bats, 111 strikeouts, 106 walks.
I love walks when that ratio is like 1-to-1. Oh, I love it.
That's so good. So I don't think I think they are rushing him without harming him, but I like the idea of him developing a little bit more. They had this idea. They got Abel and they brought Taj Bradley over and they put him in the minors. Honestly, I wasn't necessarily like up to date on where Abel and Bradley were as far as their their approach and their pitches and all that stuff. I thought in retrospect, it was a good idea to keep them in the minors for a little longer. And then they brought them up.
And they both got just pasted.
So maybe they should have kept him down. I don't know.
Abel tipping his pitches
lately that are bugging me a little bit about their.
Yeah, Abel tipping his pitches is an interesting concept because Parker Hageman kind of.
They were thinking he was doing it in June or something with the Phillies. If that is something, that's not new.
No.
So I don't know if he's doing it in the same way as before, but I don't know.
Yeah.
So I'm not like worried about Walker Jenkins. I don't think we're going to have another Kirilloff situation.
Right.
But I just maybe wish that they would have kept him in Double-A a little bit longer. I don't know. Like the pitchers in Triple-A, maybe what do they say? Better execution and not stuff.
The stuff may or may not be there from Double-A, but they can put it where they prefer a lot more often.
Well, we're going to put it where we prefer, and that's a commercial break.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. Actually, no, I'm just kidding. We have an important request. Locked On wants to hear from you. We've put together a survey to learn more about our listeners and make your favorite podcasts even better. This is your chance to tell us what you like, what you don't, and answer questions about our advertising. Go to lockedonpodcasts.com/survey to get started. Everyone who completes the survey will be entered for a chance to win one of 10 $100 Amazon gift cards. Again, that's lockedonpodcasts.com/survey. And you can also find the link in the show notes. Thanks for helping us out. And we do also have to give some love to 5 Hour Energy Transfusion for the win. Time to fuel up and turn it up with 5 Hour Energy Transfusion. This grape, ginger, and lime flavored shot brings the iconic taste of golf course favorite to a non-alcoholic boost. Perfect for sinking birdies or making great memories with friends. It's a hole-in-one for your energy game. Whether you're out on the course or you just need a little extra push to power through your day, 5 Hour Energy Transfusion delivers the clubhouse flavor you love without ever leaving the green. If you're on the green in the first place, in my case, it's few and far between when we're on the green. So, but when you think about the wildest shot you've ever made, some of the greatest times you've had when you're out with your bros at the golf course, there are a lot of things that those memories and moments have in common. But were you able to keep up your energy game? Because golf is all about good times with good people and good flavors. The grape, ginger, lime flavor of 5 Hour Energy Transfusion gives you the best parts of your clubhouse go-to without leaving the course or chasing down that bev cart. Now, you can amp up the fun even more. Just buy, snap, and enter for a chance to win a dream golf trip for 2 to any golf tournament, asterisk, in the USA. Tee up that trip. Visit 5hewin.com for rules and entry, for full rules and entry. No purchase necessary. It excludes, this is the asterisk, the Masters tournament. This ends October 31st, 2125. Again, visit 5hewin.com. No purchase necessary, but it ends on Halloween.
It ends on Halloween. Spooky, scary. You want to also make sure that you're subscribed to Locked On Twins, because that way you don't miss any of the great Twins content that we've got for you. That includes the Twins postcast, typically with Luke Inman, but sometimes with Brandon, live after the final out of every game. You get 2 shows for the price of 1 that way, and it's actually all free, so there's no price. We would not charge you for this. Come on, we're buddies here. We're friends. I guess I kind of went out of order. We were supposed to do Joe Ryan in the middle, Brandon, but Joe Ryan had a couple of bad starts. He had that spike in velocity against the Yankees, and then he kind of wasn't a flat line, but some issues with the velocity, and he got hit around pretty good in the last 2 starts. Some people have joked that he just kind of has given up on the season because of all his buddies were traded. Just people are just in kind of a mood about the Twins, if you hadn't noticed. You looked a little bit at some of the data or the data. Have you found anything interesting or even like almost interesting about what Joe Ryan is going through right now?
Yeah, it's since the deadline. I mean, it's been just kind of tricky. The big thing that I noticed in his last outing against the Blue Jays here in this series, his fastball usage was 40.9%. Now, for a guy whose fastball was kind of his bread and butter coming up, and obviously it took him a while to find those secondaries, that is a shockingly low number. It's the 3rd lowest of any outing of his major league career, lowest since last year. And then he had one other one, like one of his first starts in 2022, where he was down in that 40% range. But he really pumped up his off-speed and breaking pitch usage, especially off-speed. Off-speed, he was 20.4%. He had only been at 3.4% against the A's before when he lasted 4 innings. I think that velo spike is, he was amped up coming into Yankee Stadium, and you mix that with kind of the weird emotions after not being traded, and then to face the A's, who are a pretty good hitting team right now and getting knocked around. I think against the Blue Jays, knowing what he knew about their offense, swinging it better of late and that sort of thing, he kind of tweaked it and went in a different way, knowing that his fastball wasn't where it needed to be for him to be as effective as possible. And we saw that with Bailey Ober in a recent start where he threw, it was either as many changeups or more changeups than fastballs. I think it's more along the lines of just he hasn't had his best fastball and he's been trying to adapt. But in the meantime, that fastball has gotten smoked quite well. So I would certainly be concerned about the velocity. He's obviously showing a willingness to adapt, and hopefully it's more of a, just a ebb and flow thing. But there is the elephant in the room of, sometimes guys have velo spikes right before something goes sideways. And so we're knocking on wood, hoping that's not the case. But until that fastball velo rebounds a bit, which it didn't do for Bailey Ober. In fact, his start on Tuesday night was his lowest average velocity of any outing in his MLB career. So keep an eye on that. With Ryan, yeah, it's going to come down to like, if his fastball velocity isn't where he needs it to be and he mixes it up, can he mix it enough to stay effective? And that wasn't the case against Toronto. They knocked him around no matter what he threw. So, we'll see. It's, I'm trying to think, is his next start against the White Sox, if I'm not mistaken? Because if that was the case, that would certainly be a good bounce back situation. But it's still, I'm not like super concerned, but it's definitely along the lines of like your ears kind of prick up and you're like, okay, I'm going to be watching this a little closer, especially, Twins are in a part of a season where they're not likely to win too many games down the stretch. They've won 9 games in August, and that includes Tuesday night. So he might get handled a little differently, especially now Simeon Woods-Richardson coming back, hopefully in the near future, Pablo in the near future. We'll see.
Pablo tonight, by the way, against the Mud Hens, 4 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, 5 strikeouts, and a home run, 68 pitches. Is he due to have another rehab start? Do we know?
I mean, you said he threw 60, how many? 68? 68? 46. Yeah, I think you'd want to do one more at 80, closing in on 85. You could fast track it if you were going to be like, hey, have your next outing in the big leagues and then Pearson Owl or someone like that will pitch after you. I don't think that's really that appealing to me. I'd rather just give him one more start to kind of feel it out and see how he's feeling down there. But I could see it going either way. I lean, though, toward one more start with the Saints.
Also pitching in this game, Cody Lawyerson. It's a funny name. He went an inning. Marco Raya, I don't know what to make of Marco Raya. He's got a 5.99 ERA, but every time I look up, he's got like 2 innings pitched. Tonight he was 2 2/3, 4 strikeouts, no walks. So I don't know. I like what I see out of him. Travis Adams also.
But the role too, like he had started for a while and he's bulk, whatever. Like I don't know if they view him as someone they want to get a look at in September too, when rosters, expand, they get a couple players bigger. That might be a guy they want to get a look at. He's on the 40, so it's not any sort of far-fetched idea, but you don't want to bring him up, have him get his butt kicked and have that be bad for his psyche either. But I do think based on the usage of him, there's a chance they'll bring him up and maybe let him work bulk or open, or who knows, maybe even figure out a bullpen role for him where he fits in the hierarchy for the rest of the season to see how he acclimates. Because the rotation, depending on what they do this offseason, is going to be pretty crowded. Maybe his future is in the bullpen as a longer guy or even a short spurt guy. We'll see. But I kind of think we'll get a look at him at some point here in the next few weeks. Yeah,
I agree. I think Raya has a good chance to be at least tried in the bullpen, and we'll see how he does. He was a spring training. He wasn't a spring. He was on the 40, right? So
yeah, so he was there, but I don't think he was much of a factor.
Right. They were gonna bring him into some big league games, and his first big league game, I remember he did not have a good time. So, and it kind of things went sideways for him at that point.
On a 1 to a Cantorino scale, he was about an 8.5.
Right. So, we'll see what the future offers for that, and we're gonna hit the road here, and we're gonna remind you that we hope you enjoyed. I gotta find it. There it is. We want to thank you for making Locked On Twins your first listen today, or wherever it is. Maybe it's like your second, because the postcast already happened. For your next listen, check out the all-new Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, all season long, and it's never going to end the season. Get local analysis on a national scale. Find MLB Game Night on Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts, whether it's here or there. So for my friend Brendan Warne, this is Dave Brown. Wish you all a very pleasant good evening, saying that we will, Alexei, see ya tomorrow night.